Today on the Ave Podcast, we're back with the NFL check-in, the second quarter of the check-in. I'm joined by friend of the podcast, Roger Calendar, as well as former CIS football all-star, Carrie Joseph, as we talk all things NFL the last few weeks. As we do these check-ins, we discussed how the hell the Chiefs are doing this once again. Are we happy that the Steelers are successful? We discuss my Niners. Plus, we break down our first half award winners of the NFL season so far. So I've taken a couple of weeks off because I have been, what's the word I want to use here? Completely devastated by the flu. So about 2 weeks ago, I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know how I got it. All I know is I was perfectly fine one day. Within 24 hours, I was bedridden for the next 5 days, maybe even 6 days. And even last week, I couldn't record because, my God, I couldn't stop coughing. And I swear, every now and again, I still go like Rick Ross because I'm trying to stifle a cough. It's just crazy, man. Make sure your immune system is up this fall and winter season, especially if you're living up north, because, my God, I don't know where that came from, but, my God, that thing tried to devastate the hell out of me. And it did. It worked. It had me at a standing 8 and 9 count half the time. Woof. I missed the election. I want to talk about the election and how the Democrats completely fucked that up. But, I can't even get into that right now because the moment's kind of past. But, I mean, Trump winning was not totally shocking. The next set of moves that he's making right now in terms of who he's hiring for his cabinet is probably even a little less shocking, to be quite honest with you, because if you've been following Trump the last 8 years, he's kind of a lunatic. So the next 24 to 48 months is going to be a wild, and I mean a wild ride. So I suggest everybody south of the border to buckle up, man, because we're about to see sadly, some historic shit. Wow. I mean, some of the comments he's making already is it's a little shameful, to say the least, but I can't say I'm surprised. But with that said, wherever you listen to podcasts, South Shore Ave is here. All right, so make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you want to check out the catalog, make sure you go to southshoreave.com. Once again, that is southshoreave.com. Before I repeat it a third time, make sure you click on all the 5 stars for me, please and thank you. Please and thank you. And one more time for the emphasis, make sure you go to southshoreave.com for the catalog, all right? Anyways, I don't want to hold this up because I've been off for a couple of weeks, so let's get this show on the road. This is the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio. Hut!
Welcome to the Ave Podcast with Cal C on South Shore Ave Radio.
Welcome to the Ave Podcast, where we're back for the NFL check-in, the second check-in of the NFL season so far. I'm joined by friends of the podcast, Mr. Carrie Joseph and Mr. Roger Calendar. How you guys doing today?
Not bad. How you doing, Kelsey?
Good, man. Good. I know we just started talking just before, but I'm still trying to shake off the remnants of this flu, bro. Holy cow!
Yes, Cal, fight it. Fight it.
I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. That's how it feels, right?
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
But we're at the halfway point of the NFL season so far. So yeah, man, let's get into it because it's been an interesting year so far. I mean, there's always a team or two that comes out the woodworks that we don't expect to be where they are at this point of the season. I think the biggest thing right now, and we probably should get into it right now, is if I remember correctly, that was the last thing I asked you guys, and I'm gonna ask this question again. How are the Chiefs doing this, man? How are they doing this? Like that field goal. What's amazing about that field goal being blocked is, and I got to give credit to Dan Orlovsky because I was on his Twitter last night, or X, whatever you want to call it now, and it's
Twitter forever.
Yes, I know, forever it's Twitter. Black people ain't calling it X; it's just Twitter forever.
Exactly.
But what I thought was interesting was when you watch the through like the highlights throughout the game, anytime that Denver went to kick a field goal, they kept bull rushing this one weak link on the offense on the line. So the first, I think they showed about 4 different examples, and the first time they just kind of bluffed him just to see like who was the weak one, and then after that, they every single time they just kept bull rushing him. This guy was on his back like crazy.
It's called strategy, man.
Yeah,
it's called strategy.
So by the time they got to the end of the game, it was like that was from like the whole game of wearing that guy down. It was so it's like so basically to say it wasn't an accident. You know what I mean? So
no, absolutely not. That's coaching. That's high level.
That's why I'm like it's absolutely amazing. But sorry, I don't even mean to jump into. When do you guys take off on this question? Because again, how are they doing this?
That's high level coaching. It's coaching and teams greatness. You need to be a little lucky to be really great. All the greats have been lucky at some point, but they put in that work and they believe in each other and they never think a game is over. They just got that killer mentality, man. It's tough.
It helps when you have the best quarterback in the league. Regardless of the fact that he really isn't playing that well right now. I mean, the guy has 12 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Like, compared to the rest of his years, this is considered a down year for him. But when the chips are down, he knows how to win. And they have Andy Reid, who does a phenomenal job on the offensive side. And their defense is playing amazing. I mean, I would say their defense is pretty much carrying them at this point.
Yeah.
It's the best defense he's had.
Easily, which I didn't even think was possible because I thought the loss of Snead last year, because Snead was he was a shutdown corner, and they basically traded him to the Titans, and it seems like they got better somehow. Like I can't even explain it. They actually got better this year. So I mean, it's all coaching. It's having the right players. It's having the right scheme. Like I don't know what else to say. I mean, geez, I watch their games, and I'm like every game seems to be like a nail biter. It comes right down to the wire.
Yeah, man.
You know, Mahomes throws some interceptions, and then all of a sudden, they're in overtime, or it comes up to like the last minute, and they depend on some sort of drive by Mahomes, and it's like I don't know, man. They have some sort of invisible shield around them. It's uncanny.
But it's not even Mahomes. Look, special teams makes a play, wins a game.
Yeah.
Defense has been carrying them. They do whatever they need to do. Okay, we're gonna give. It's the running back that came back there that re-signed. Kareem Hunt. We're gonna give him 25 carries. He's been there a week.
Oh my God!
And just play defense and win a game. And Mahomes doesn't make the mistakes in critical times.
Yeah,
he makes the play in the critical times. He's not playing great, but if you give him a chance, he's gonna make the right play.
Yeah, they lost their 2 main offensive weapons from last year, and it's like next man up. They just keep it moving. Yeah. They bring in new players. Now they bring in DeAndre Hopkins.
I know.
Like how the league just let this man just go to that team. I have no clue. Come on, it's almost not fair at this point.
And Pacheco's coming back.
Yep.
Pacheco's coming back. He should be back probably within a game or 2.
Yep.
And I don't even know what to say. I don't know what's going to stop this team. Last year they didn't play the greatest, and they still ended up winning the Super Bowl. And they went against some juggernauts like the Ravens. I don't know. They just know how to win, and I think that's what it boils down to. They just know how to win, and they can win in multiple ways. They just don't win in one way. If their offense is having a shitty game, their defense steps up. If the defense isn't playing that well, the offense steps up. If it's not the offense, it's special teams.
Yeah.
It's always something. Like, it's always something.
And it's funny because everybody keeps saying this is not the best version of the Chiefs, and everybody keeps saying that, you know, they're beatable, but I'm starting to push back on they're beatable part because, like, you know, I don't know much. But one of the things I do know is when a championship team is at a level where they know how to win and the games are close, they're dangerous. And especially when they keep winning all these close games, that means something later down the line. You know what I mean? And
no, 100%. But all their games are close because they're beatable, though. You have a chance to beat them.
Right, but
in the end, you have a chance to beat them.
Doesn't mean you can execute.
But they haven't rolled anybody. They haven't put it all together from A to Z. But in the end, they find a way to win. They're beatable.
But what I would say though is it's almost like a sleight of hand. You know what I mean? Where it's like you feel like the quarter's right in his index finger, isn't it? How's it coming out of his pocket? That's how I feel like they're at right now. Mahomes right now, Kansas City, and a large part Mahomes, they're basically at that Brady, Larry Bird, Jordan level right now. Where what I mean is when the game is close, you basically know Kansas City is going to win. I know that because when San Francisco kicked the field goal in the Super Bowl, and I watched Mahomes' face on the bench, and he looked like he was playing against the Jaguars in November instead of overtime in the Super Bowl. I knew pretty much right there the game was over. What I thought was amazing, what I thought was absolutely hilarious, because I didn't watch the game last week, the Monday night game where they played Tampa Bay, but I caught the fourth quarter. And Baker Mayfield, who's, I got to give him his props, man. The guy's been really good the last couple of years. But when they did the coin flip and he lost the coin flip, the face that he made, he
knew it was over.
It's over.
He knew it was over.
And that to me says everything about the essence of the Chiefs right now this season. That basically was a microcosm of the entire Chiefs season. He knew there the game was over. He knew it. He knew it was over. So
he felt it.
Yeah. So at this stage, like I said, I'm not thinking they're going to go undefeated. I do expect them to lose, and I think for their sake, they probably. I'm not saying that you want to win every game. I'm not saying you want to lose, but I don't think you want to go into the playoffs undefeated, because I think the three of us will agree at this point they're making the playoffs. They're probably going to get the number one seed, if not the second seed at this point.
Nah, man, they're gonna go for the
number one seed.
No, I think if they get a chance to go undefeated and win a Super Bowl.
You think they're going to go for it?
I think they will.
Wow. Alvin, I don't see any other way. Honestly, I see it.
Why wouldn't
it's definitely
you
a
go for
possibility.
it?
Yeah.
It's not like your first time, you've won 2 in a row.
It's not like they're new to this, and it's not like they're new to the playoffs. I mean, the playoffs basically go through Kansas City every single year for the past 4 or 5 years now.
7 years.
7 years exactly. I do see there is a strong possibility that they might go undefeated. They're facing the Bills next week, so I think that'll be the really true test for them, because right now Josh Allen is playing really, really well, and the Buffalo defense is playing extremely well as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good test for them. If they're going to lose, I think they'll lose to that team. But I mean, if you have a chance to go undefeated and go all the way to the championship, you do it. I mean, I understand what you're saying in regards to you'd never really want to go in.
It's just a lot of pressure.
You don't want you. It is a lot of pressure. The pressure builds. I hear you 100%. But I mean, if there's one team that can handle the pressure,
and just the injury standpoint too, you don't want maybe rest guys.
Yeah, exactly. That might be a possibility, because I mean, when you're 9-0, it's going to get to a point where, let's say they are close to perfect. Or they are perfect, and they're 16 and 17. By week probably 15, they're probably going to lock up for a seed anyways. Because, and then what do they have to play for the next 2 games?
Exactly what you're playing for.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing for that to break that streak.
Exactly.
What is it? The 72 Dolphins.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it was 72 Dolphins. Then there was the Patriots. They went all the way to the championship, lost in the Super Bowl.
Technically, the New England Patriots won more games in a row.
Yeah, but they didn't finish
the Miami. But they didn't finish.
So true. Fucking New
York, they
won
more games.
It's true.
But they didn't finish it off. 15-0 or 14-0 sounds better than 18-1. It just does. It just does. But I'm looking at the Kansas City schedule right now. Yeah, they got the Bills on Sunday, which should be a great game. Underrated game, December 8th, they play the Chargers. I think that's actually going to be a pretty good game, or that will be a good game.
The Chargers always give them a good run, man.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, they do.
That's going to be a good game. They played at the Texans towards the end of December. I don't
that's
know.
That's a good game.
That's going to be a good game. And then they're at the Steelers on Christmas.
Wow. That's gonna be a battle because the Steelers are playing really well right now. Their defense is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, they're not going to go undefeated. I'm thinking. I don't think that's I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think so either. But I would like to see them chase it.
Again, and I know I asked this question before, but where the hell do you put them in the rankings of history if they go undefeated and do a three-peat? Like it's pretty. I mean,
they would be the best team ever.
Probably, I'd have to admit it.
Yeah, best 3-year run. I mean,
I don't
a three-peat.
I don't want to happen.
Finish it going undefeated.
Yeah,
and you go 3 in a row.
Yeah, they would be the best team ever, 100%. I can't.
The best dynasty. There's nothing better than that, man.
No.
If you could do that.
No.
You can't
I guess.
You can't beat that.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Three-peating is that's a whole different level.
4 out of 5, basically in a conference championship at minimum every year since 2018. Yeah. That's a tough one to skip over. It really is.
That's dominance, man.
No, absolutely.
It is.
But I know we were alluding to this earlier, especially that last game with the Steelers. But are we happy that the Steelers and Russell Wilson, for that matter, are playing great football?
Yes,
I am 100%. Absolutely, man.
Love it.
Absolutely, I love to see that. I mean, Russell Wilson he could potentially be the comeback player of the year if he keeps this up. He is playing on such a high level, which is funny because when he first started off the season, obviously he didn't know the plays, he didn't know the playbook, he wasn't familiar with all the with the personnel and so on. So he wasn't playing that well. Like I did watch him in preseason, and this guy was throwing up picks like it was crazy,
That's what the
preseason's for. But that's what the preseason's for. Yeah. Well, it was bad enough that he got injured, of course, and they sat him, and then Fields. I still love Fields. I think he's a great player. But I think Russell Wilson gives them something that's something that they need, and it's that long ball.
Yeah, that's true.
I think his arm is he does have a better arm, and it seems like he's a little bit more mobile now too. He's kind of reminded me of the old Russell Wilson, where he's able to scramble a little bit, and then his deep ball has really, really improved to the point where it's. He's been having a really good he's been playing in the past 3 games, and so far his biggest win is against the Commanders. This guy had 195 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception, and then he beat the Giants and the Jets, which are whatever. Yeah. They're not the greatest teams, but still.
That's a good defense, though.
They did before they lost their head coach. Now I find the past 2 games, it's
they didn't lose them.
They got rid of him before they got rid of him. Before they kicked him to the curb. Before they kicked him. Robert Saleh, rest in peace.
We need a scapegoat.
Yes.
We need a scapegoat.
Yeah. And the defensively, they've gone from top 5 to I think they're 25th, 26th in the league now. That's how bad the drop-off's been. But yeah, I think it's great, man. I always liked Russ, and I didn't find that he got a fair shake because I didn't like the way that people were kind of attacking him when obviously he wasn't playing that well. People started attacking his character and so on. I didn't really think that was fair. So it's nice to see him play well again. That's for sure.
I think that statement that you just made is an understatement. I thought it was disrespectful, especially the way that Sean Payton was treating Russell Wilson.
100%.
Especially that scene where he was cursing him out on the sidelines,
Yeah,
I mean, you don't do that to a guy like Russell Wilson, man. That's crazy, and especially being the coach that he is. I like Sean Payton, or at least I liked him before that, because I'm he was a good coach. He won 1 Super Bowl. You're not Bill Walsh. You know what I'm saying? You're not Belichick. Why are you acting like that?
Yeah. The only thing I'll say in defense of Russell Wilson, not even defense of Russell Wilson, in defense of Sean Payton is that before when he got there, all the privilege that was given to Russell Wilson from the other coach was absurd. And I think that was like Peyton Manning trying to like set the tone, go at the guy who's been pampered.
Right.
Like apparently Russell Wilson got to use his own trainers. He had his own VIP parking spot. He had his like own office in the building. They gave him everything. And Payton came in there is like, no, I gotta kick this guy off the high horse. Which I found is still intense because Russell Wilson actually played well last year.
He did.
He did.
And
that was the irony of everything.
You know how much at times I argue with friends about that? And they're like, oh, man, he's been trashed for years. I'm like, yo.
No.
I keep looking at the stats. I'm like, he had 26 TDs and 14 interceptions. I'm like,
yeah, he was above average quarterback for sure. He was a good quarterback. He was a good quarterback last year.
He was. And I mean, I get it. He did have a lot of privileges, 100%. And you know what? He probably took advantage of it a little too much, and that's why I guess the rest of the team was a little bit jealous of him. And obviously that's not good for player morale. So I do get why Sean Payton came in there and kind of shut that down. But I still didn't like the way that it was too much. It was over the top. Like ridiculing him on the sideline and stuff like that. It was too much.
Talking.
And the thing is, he knew Russell Wilson wouldn't say anything.
Exactly.
That's what I don't like. It's like, as a man, you're only doing that because you know this guy's not gonna do anything.
Curse
He'll
you
just
out.
take it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because that's his nature. Russell Wilson, he's not a combative person. He never has been. Yeah. And I mean, if he would have done that to Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or one of them,
he ain't doing that to somebody else.
That would have been one fiery exchange. Exactly.
Not even Drew Brees. Not even Drew Brees.
No way.
He wouldn't have done that to Drew neither. Yeah, it was disrespectful.
Yeah. But what Russell Wilson brings to Pittsburgh, I'm still a Justin Fields fan. I wish he kept on starting, but Justin Fields was playing so conservative. He didn't want to make a mistake. But that slows down the offense because he wasn't taking chances. And like, you have George Pickens, you got to throw the ball up to him one-on-one. You throw it up. He might not be open, but you need to trust your guy.
Or throw him.
Russell Wilson will throw it up, and he's a very good deep ball thrower. They're like these moon balls. I think Justin Fields has a better arm. In my opinion, he has better arm talent. Like, but Russell Wilson has always been an accurate quarterback, and his deep ball is very, very good. It's like catchable. It just falls out of the sky into the receiver's hands.
Yeah, it's a beautiful arc, 100%. I think to be honest with you, I think Russell Wilson has a stronger arm. I think his deep ball is much better. But I mean, when it comes to Fields,
power and accuracy and trajectory are two different things. I bet you Justin Fields can throw the ball farther than Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson throws it with timing. He throws it early. He throws it up. He lofts it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. He throws the better ball. He might not have the stronger arm, you're saying, but he throws the better ball. In other words,
And for a team like this, that's all that matters right now, right?
Because it opens up the run too.
Yeah.
Because now they can't just stack the box and like. Since Russell Wilson's been there, their average per play is higher. They're running more every game. Like it's opened up everything. So it was the right decision. You know, in Mike Tomlin we trust, man.
Yeah. You can't count this guy out ever.
And it's funny
ever.
Because I was gonna say with Russell, it's only been 3 games, but I feel like it's like a perfect fit. You know what I mean? We got to see how the rest of the season plays out, of course, because like they haven't even played the teams in their own division yet, which I think starts on Sunday when they play the Ravens. But with that said, I mean, everybody gets on Russ because he's bland. He's like a company man. People think he's corny. the younger generation got mad because they said he took Sierra from Future, even though they were broken up. Whatever. You know what I mean?
Bring that up, really?
But
he didn't take a. What's his name? Lost him. He didn't.
Exactly.
He lost her.
He rides for the hills.
Exactly.
Exactly. He went on and got 5 more baby mamas, but nobody's paying attention to that, right? But
exactly.
But I mean, honestly, like I like when he got to that team, I was a little. I think everybody was like, at least for me, I was kind of like, this. It's a little intriguing. Then you were kind of surprised that they got Fields, because you're like, yo, like, man, Russell Wilson, boy, the end of the year, end of his career, like, it's man, he's getting kind of like dismissed a little. You know what I mean? And and it worked out. It worked out in the sense where, and this is where Mike Tomlin and I guess the front office kind of look like geniuses now, because you've kind of, for the last couple of years they've had like a shit show at quarterback. Sorry, Kenny Pickett, but that's what it is, right? But with the two of them now, you've kind of fixed the short term and the long term problems at quarterback right now. Because you're hoping like in a year or a couple of years you're going to be giving Fields a team, right? But
he's going to be a free agent.
Who Fields?
Yeah, they were both on 1-year deals.
Yeah, both of them signed. Yeah, they signed a 1-year contract.
I think Fields is going to hit free agency, which is pretty intriguing for that.
Yeah. I know
type of talent.
But has he done enough to get a big, huge deal at this point?
No, he won't get a huge deal. No, he won't get a huge deal.
But that's why I think it might be to the Steelers' advantage. You know what I mean?
I don't think they would want to keep him. But as a Justin Fields, your first time in free agency, you get to choose and let someone choose you and go somewhere and have an opportunity. He's not going to sign with Pittsburgh to be a backup.
Unless there's no offers. Unless there's no offers, which I don't even think is going to be possible.
Someone's going to take a chance on Justin Fields in free agency.
Yeah. I think he's going to go to the Titans. Absolutely. I think they'll try him out as a starter.
There's tons of teams that could use a quarterback, man.
There's a lot of bad quarterbacking inside the league right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on the Titans. He could end up on the Jets. I mean, there's so many teams that are going to probably need a quarterback next year. And if they don't draft one, they have to find one somewhere.
The Raiders.
The Raiders, that's another team. The Giants, the Giants for sure.
God. Yeah. None of those options sound great, just to be honest, just so you guys know. None of those options sound
great. Nobody said they were good options, Calvin. Just that there's going to be availability.
No, I'm just saying he might want an opportunity to go somewhere and start, or at least fight for a start, right?
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, but you know what? And it's interesting because I know Justin made comments where he was saying, you know what? He's like, he basically conceded that, yo, this is Russell's show. From when he was healthy, he was like, you know what? He's like, I did the best that I could, but he was like, I didn't do enough. Which I thought, I was like, whoa, that's actually pretty insightful for a guy to say in this day and age. I was shocked by that. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think,
it shows maturity.
Yeah, but I think being in the quarterback room with Wilson every day, I think you might be able to see the effect of that. Because I mean, and all in all, he seems like a good dude. You know what I mean?
He is.
He seems like a good dude. Like I said, he might be bland, he might be whatever, company man, whatever you want to say, but he's professional and he seems like he's willing to teach and learn. So I think being around that is probably going to help, at least for his career.
No, it definitely help.
Yeah, I believe so.
It would definitely help. I think it did help because Justin played well.
Yeah,
it's not like he played bad, but he was too conservative, man. You need to stretch the field. You need to give Pickens opportunities. You need to give these receivers opportunities to just make plays, and you can't be scared to throw a pick sometimes. But he's this traumatic situation he left.
Yeah.
He's traumatized, man.
Yeah.
Remember David? Is it David Carr or Derek Carr? Derek Carr. Houston.
David Carr.
Oh no, David Carr. Derek Carr's
David
brother.
Carr is Derek Carr's brother.
Oh
yeah,
man got drafted first round.
He used to get destroyed.
First pick. They never protected him. This guy would get lit up like a Christmas tree on Christmas Day. And then after he left and went to other teams, you could just tell, like, in the pocket, he would get the ball and he'd be like
skittish.
Feel like someone's gonna hit him because, like, traumatized, like he's done, career done.
I feel like right now, if he holds a football, he probably flinches just a little.
Yeah, seriously, man, this guy used to get lit up.
Yeah,
no, that's what happens, man. You start seeing ghosts after a while.
Exactly, man. You can't survive like that.
You can, and you can't play football like that. You definitely can't. Like, you start hearing footsteps, even though they're not there. Yeah. You start feeling pressure when there is no pressure. Yeah. And I mean, it's instinct. That's just human nature. You keep getting hit over and over again. Your body's first sense is to protect itself. Even whether you think the threat is real or not, you're still going to protect yourself because you never know when that one big hit's going to come. So, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks suffer from that. I mean, if you play long enough and you have an horrible O-line, then that's definitely going to happen to you. I mean, look at Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck got the shit kicked out of him for how many years? He tapped out. He was like,
"I'm the best quarterbacks in the game, but you know what? I'm good."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He said he was tired of rehabbing during his off season. He said every single year I would have to rehab from some sort of injury that he got on the field because he used to get the shit kicked out of him on every single play.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him. When he left, I was like, good for you, dude.
Yeah, man.
I was like, live your life, man.
And I mean, the circumstance is a little different when you come from money, too, right? Like, don't get me wrong, he made his money, but he came from money.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So the circumstance is a little different. You think about life a little different when you're not the original breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? But to your point though, you're right. Like I remember, I always used to think, like, why wouldn't the Colts invest in a good offensive line? He might still be playing right now.
Right, exactly.
Like not even might be. He would still be playing if they invested in offense. I never understood that. This whole career, I'm like, why don't these guys get, like, just pay like a couple of O-line, like a couple of, like, blindside tackles? Like, I don't understand what's happening here. Every year he's
not, they wanna spend their draft picks on the weapons and spend the money on the weapons and not invest in the O-line. And it's like, that's the downfall of most teams.
But I mean, that's the thing. If you're gonna invest in somebody that's that high level of a quarterback, and I mean, make no mistake, he was a great quarterback. That to me is foundation number one that you build. It's like a house. Like you're worried about the windows. What about the foundation?
100%.
Calvin, 1,000%. You're right. But then you see teams that have horrible O-line play.
Yeah.
Like look at for example, look at Chicago.
I knew it. I read your mind before you even said it. Okay. After that 9 sacks that poor Caleb Williams took last weekend, I was like, this boy, I feel so sorry for this kid.
What they do in the draft? Listen, I love Odunze from Washington, receiver. I think he's going to be a stud. But you draft a quarterback, you have a top 10 pick, take O-lineman.
Right.
Take O-lineman, man.
Yeah, and it's not as if they didn't have wide receiver help on the team neither. They had DJ Moore. They went out and they got Kenny. They got what's his name? Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
For God's sakes, I mean, get an O-lineman, get a tackle, get somebody.
They didn't sign anybody really. Yeah. They had cap space. Like, what are you doing? Like, I dropped a quarterback first overall. I'm signing a couple dudes, big money. I'm gonna draft a couple guys in the high. Like,
yeah, you're protected. You got to protect them. It's your number one pick. It's your potential franchise player. Like you're expecting somebody like Caleb Williams to be like a QB for the next 15 years for your franchise, especially now where you can't touch a quarterback. Like, you got to protect them. You got to protect them. You don't want to turn them into David Carr. And to circle back, that's my fear with Justin Fields, where he's got to kind of be careful with that too, because I mean he's a running QB. It's great, but
he's not a running QB.
You don't think so?
He's a quarterback. He's a quarterback that can run.
Wait. Who are we talking about? Sorry,
Fields.
Justin Fields.
I'm going back to Fields, but I'm saying like you still want a solid O line, right? Like
100%.
that'd be my concern.
You have to.
Going to Tennessee or the Raiders right now without a strong O line, I'm like you're gonna be talking a lot to the grass. You know what I mean? Like that's
100%.
That's a concern, right?
Listen, if you wanna look at a team that improved their O line, don't look any further than Kansas City. Because after they got their shit kicked out of them from the Bucks, you remember that Super Bowl where their two tackles, I think their two tackles went down the game before the week before the big game. They basically revamped that whole O line.
Yeah.
And now it's like, they've got probably one of the best O line in the game right now.
Their center and guards are studs.
Phenomenal. Exactly. 100%.
There's a great stat
and
that their interior line. So I think their center and their two guards. They said they have not allowed a sack this whole season.
Yeah, they're really good and they're physical.
It's insane. You always have a chance if you have a O-line. Your run game is going to be better. You're giving your quarterback more time to throw the ball and find the open receivers. Like, teams don't realize the team centers around the O-line. I don't care how good of a quarterback you have. You can have Tom Brady back there. You can have Patrick Mahomes back there. If they don't have time to throw, they're always running for their life, or they get injured, which potentially happens when you have a sucky O-line.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. You could have the fastest. You could have 5 Tariq Hills on your team.
Yeah.
But you're never going to be able to put up the ball if the quarterback is literally running for his life. So I mean, it's funny how teams don't realize that, because they always want to invest in the skill players, not realizing that their true strength needs to be their O-line. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's the most important position, man, other than the quarterback. It's O-line.
It really is, 100%. 100%.
Right now, we know what their recipe is, man, when they have good quarterback play. They're always sound defensively. They're always sound with the run game. They're always sound with special teams. Once you got good quarterback play, like you know the recipe for this is gonna be. Like, they're gonna go deep in the playoffs. They're gonna be one of those teams you don't want to face right now.
They're a contender.
No, 100%. 100%. Like it would not shock me in the least if they're playing in the AFC Championship game. It would not shock me at least, as well as the Bills are playing, as well as the Ravens are playing. We've been here before with these teams, man. And to be honest, I kind of would like to see them play Kansas City. I think that would be a great way to end off the season. But again, like I said, they have to go through the division. So we got to see how that plays off, because right now the Bengals are playing. They're starting to roll. We see what the Ravens are doing. You know what I mean? Jameis Winston. No, I'm just joking. Not Jameis Winston. But I mean, but like,
you really think Cleveland still has a chance?
Jameis, which one are you gonna get? Which one are you gonna get? 5 touchdown Jameis or 5 pick Jameis?
5 exactly. That's the beauty of some Jameis.
My nickname for him is 30 for 30.
I was 30 for 30. I was so wrong. He's one of the guys that I was like, yo, he's the truth. He's a winner. Pocket passer. Black kid's gonna go to the pros and just kill it. And it's like, nah, man. Like he'll pull the trigger, but man,
he'll close his eyes when he's doing it.
There's not one throw he thought he couldn't make.
I know.
Just rein it in just a little bit, buddy. Just a little, man.
Oh, man. Nah, man. That's not his game, guy. That's not his game. That's not what he does.
He's going out shooting.
He's a shooter guy. He's a gunner, man. He's like the reincarnation of Brett Favre. Let me just put that ball up and see who catches the guy.
If he was a hitman in the mafia, he would have gotten fired, because you just no execution.
Kill everybody.
these people weren't on the list. Yeah, but they were in the way.
Exactly. You would murk the whole family, including the dog guy. You would kill the family dog and be like, "Yeah, my bad." Horrible, man. Horrible.
But Campanelli's still alive. He's still alive. That's not what we paid you for.
Oh my god.
I haven't used this platform to be biased as yet, but I'm going to now because with Christian McCaffrey coming back, do my Niners got a shot to make a real run to the NFC Championship game or higher? Do we have a shot? And I'm saying we because that's the team I represent. But yeah, go
it's the squad, and they are one of the better teams in the NFC. I would agree with that. McCaffrey gives them a whole other dynamic. Plus, they have Mason as a backup, so they don't have to use CMC so much. Their defense is still solid. Like, they have a chance.
I think they have a chance, but I don't know, man. They lost. I found Brandon Ayuk. That loss was pretty hard.
Ayuk, yeah.
Brandon Ayuk. He's their downfield threat. He's their downfield threat, man. I mean, he was the guy there. I mean, if Debo would stop flipping strangling the kicker, I'm sure he'd be doing pretty well too. Flipping roughing up the snappers and flipping trying to strangle the kicker for missing field goals. I think they'd probably be better off, but I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous is not even the word for it.
This guy really trying to give respect to his name, eh? Trying to bully everybody. Give me a chain.
This guy just needed the bike. And he just needs to ride around the sideline on his bike, and they just need the music following him around. Donna.
What bike?
Oh my God.
This is my bike.
Oh my God.
But I don't know. I don't think like Ayuk hurts, but the way the offense is, it's so multiple. Like, Pearsall looks good. He's a deep threat. He's a 4-3 guy.
Yeah.
Jennings, pretty good receiver. Now they have like a two-headed monster with their running game. Warner's still good on defense, man. They got some good Bosa, all these guys. Like, I mean, they have a chance, man. The only thing I'm going to throw out there is my Philadelphia Eagles. Well, I've been on a little roll here.
Yeah, they play well.
They have.
And
Saquon,
I could see San Fran and Philly having to duke it out in the playoffs again. Hurts playing great. He didn't have a turnover for like 4 games until the last game.
Mm-hmm.
The running game, Saquon's a beast.
Yeah.
Best O-line in the league. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith are 2 number ones.
Yeah.
And the defense is playing. Jalen Carter is like a man-child.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Like when he just decides to just be consistent and like not get frustrated with like you're the best player on the defense. They're gonna double team you. They're gonna chip you. They're gonna hit you in the ribs. Like when he's young, right? So he gets like.
Yeah, a little.
He gets emotional and he gets frustrated. Like when he just decides he's gonna dominate, they can't stop him.
Yeah,
agreed. And Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean are balling at linebacker. Quinyon Mitchell, the rookie, is playing nice, and the white slot corner.
He's playing really well.
Nice. This man is nice.
They
returner. He's nice.
Which is, what I like about Philadelphia is the fact that they knew that they had a weakness, and they dealt with it.
Yeah, they did something.
They picked up. They actually did something about it. Like, I mean, they picked up 2 corners.
Raj, they haven't drafted a corner in the first round since 2002.
Wow, I did not know that. 2002.
I was like, they're not drafting a corner. They should. There's tons of corners in this draft, but every year I do it to myself, and they never do it.
Wow.
And this year they took Quinyon Mitchell in the first round, and they took Cooper DeJean in the second round. You said they adjusted. They said, okay.
They saw weakness, and they literally fixed it. Honestly, it's impressive. It is 100% impressive. They threw resources at it, and now look at them. So yeah. But I mean, just to circle back, Calvin, in regards to your 49ers, yeah, for sure, they have a chance, 100%. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I don't know. Last week's game didn't really, I don't know. I didn't find that they played especially well. But I mean, it was their first game with CMC coming back, so
yeah.
I definitely think they're going to pick up speed. He is. He's playing well from that injury. Like, I mean, I really do think that they're going to pick it up. So, I mean, they always have a chance. Niners always have a chance. If they avoid the injury bug, 100%.
Purdy 6th in the league in passing yards.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
Which is actually pretty impressive. Yeah, which is pretty impressive. Because I thought when they lost Ayuk, I was like, I don't know
man,
how
they
well
still
he's
have
going to do
Kittle. They still have Kittle. Like, they still have
Kittle's
a lot,
balling out.
Man.
Yeah.
They still have a lot, man. And when you're running the ball and that offense like that, just the scheme alone gets receivers open. You don't have to actually be great route runner. It's going to get you open because of spacing and motion, and you have to worry about McCaffrey and Debo. So those other guys need to step up, like Pearsall and Jefferson. Was it Jefferson? Jenkins. Jennings.
Good though too.
Yeah, he had a big touchdown, didn't he, last week?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He had a good game last week.
Yeah.
The man took a bullet a couple months ago in the chest.
That's crazy.
It's just crazy.
It's insane. It's like Brian Robinson.
A lot of mercy.
Right? It's like Brian Robinson the year before.
Yeah.
That's true.
Man.
Yeah.
But it's been a weird season because obviously it's been filled with injuries and like underachieving a play at times. But, you know, we are getting healthier. You know, CMC's putting the offense at like at an optimum level right now where you can kind of open up the entire playbook with him now, even though Jordan Mason did a stand-up job. I mean, I think
he did do a stand-up job.
He was like top 5 in yards before CMC came back. Basically, like he was
leading the league for a couple weeks at least.
Yeah, like he was on his way to being a Pro Bowl at CMC not come back. You know what I mean? Like he's been really good.
He's still top 10.
Yeah, no, he
top
is
top 10 rusher in the league.
He is, but with all that said, I think the losses to the Cardinals and the Rams earlier this year, that's the thing that's gonna bite us in the ass because the way the schedule's set up right now for the rest of the season, this is the reason why you rack up those wins early in the year, right? Just in case, because their schedule is probably, if it's not the toughest, is one of the toughest remaining schedules in the NFL, like bar none. You know
what do they got? Do you know? Please
I'll lay it out for you right now. Hold on. Well, they play the Seahawks on Sunday. Then they got the Packers. They're at the Packers. They're at the Bills. Well, they play the Bears, so that should be a win. Then they play the Rams, which is still a divisional game, which is
a tough game.
That's gonna be a tough game for them. Yeah.
They're at the Dolphins on the 22nd. They played Detroit on the week 17.
That's gonna be a good game.
The home game, and then they finish the season off at Arizona, which again that's one of the losses they took.
Yeah,
you know, so it's not
Arizona 6-4. That's a tight division too, right?
It is, and it's one of those divisions where basically probably only the division winner is going to be the only one that makes it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because everybody's kind of like muddled in the middle with like 4 losses or more, right? So at this stage,
those are all good teams, man.
Yeah, so and again, it's not to say that the Niners can't like run the gauntlet. They can. I believe that they can, but that's why those losses early in the year, like right now, take away the Cardinals loss, take away the Rams loss. Right now, they would be 7-3 instead of 7-2 instead of 5-4.
5-4. Yeah,
it looks a whole lot different now, right?
Yeah. But they're still in position to catch Arizona. They're still fine. They can still win the division
for sure. As much as you do want to ramp it up, I don't know if you really want to go into that quasi playoff mode at like 7 weeks to go in the year, 8 weeks to go in the year. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of want to save that, but like, I don't think they really have a choice. But I think they're okay with it because they've been there before too, right? So I think they might be okay with it, especially with guys coming back. I was okay with McCaffrey sitting because I'm like, again, you don't play with Achilles and you don't play with the injuries. Let them get back to 110% health before you come back, especially with an Achilles as a running back. At the same time, I'm like, keep that man rested, man. Who cares about the stats this year? Because I rather him in tip-top shape for when January comes. You know what I mean? Like, I rather see that than see him being worn down or having to sit out again with an Achilles injury. You know what I mean? So, but it's interesting to see how I was going to play out. But I'm like, right now, I'm like, your Eagles, the Commanders right now, and the Lions are
Commanders are nice.
Commanders are
Thursday night.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a game too. But the Commanders right now, they are looking good, and they seem like they're kind of going for some of the trades they made last week, right? Like getting Lattimore, and I think they picked up somebody else. But I know they're getting Lattimore. I'm like, okay, all right, they're kind of going for it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a big time pickup.
Yeah, because the defense is already playing pretty good. So you're getting down. Like, I don't want to see is he still a shutdown corner at this point? But
he's got that potential.
But he's still really good. He's still really good.
When he's healthy, to me, he's a top 5 corner.
Yeah.
But he's long, he's fast, he's movement skills, ball skills, but he gets hurt.
He can't stay healthy. I think that's what the problem is for the past couple of years. Yeah. But I mean, he could still be effective though. He could still be very effective. Like, he just makes a good defense even better.
That's it.
So it was a great pickup for them. I mean, the Commanders, wow, they're a handful this year.
Jaden Daniels is the truth. Yeah, he's good.
What goes without saying. And to segue into that, who's your first half winners, award winners so far? I didn't include Rookie of the Year or Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I think he's pretty much has that locked up right now, unless he gets hurt or something. Like, at this stage,
he's got in the bag for sure.
It's pretty much. That's why I didn't even want to discuss him. Like, it's pretty much his to win. His name.
100%.
His name. I don't want to say his name is already etched in the trophy, but like all they're missing is the L and the S of his last name at this point. You know what I mean?
And I, to be honest with you, I also think he should get some consideration for the MVP award as well.
No, he should.
He should.
Like, he turned around that whole team. I mean, Lamar Jackson is Lamar Jackson, 100%, 2-time MVP. But he had a really good team from last year. It's not as if he had to turn around the team or anything. Washington is a completely different team with Jaden Daniels on him. And this is his first year, and they're like 7-2 or 7-3 right now. They look dominant. He makes everybody better. So I mean, look at Terry. Look at Scary Terry McLaurin.
He's back.
He's balling. He's balling this year, as he should have, because he's been a phenomenal wide receiver in the past couple of years. But he's just so much better with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah,
that whole team is just he turned around the whole team. To me, it's the epitome of what the MVP should be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. And
he's not turning the ball over. He's making the right decisions, finding ways to win.
Nine TDs, two picks this year so far. I mean, it's not like high level stats so far, but from a rookie, and then on top of that, he's almost at 500 yards rushing, and he's got 4 TDs on the ground. I mean, it's you combine the complete. Sorry, you combine the touchdown amounts. It's 13 TDs. Combined, I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the yardage. These guys are dual threats, man. You have to account for that stuff. Him alone, his presence alone makes the running game better, because now as a defense, you need somebody to account for that dude all the time.
Yep.
So, that's one less guy to tackle your running back.
It's true.
Yep.
That's 100% true. Yep.
Yep. So, who would be your defensive player of the year so far?
Man, for me, I'm going to give a shout out to Zach Bond from the Philly. He's got 87 tackles, 2 sacks, a pick. He's been really good. for that defense, but I'm going to go with Chris Jones.
Chris Jones is playing really well. Yeah,
he might not have all the stats, but to me, he's the most disruptive defensive player. And they move him around. He plays end. He plays inside. Like, you can't block him one-on-one. To me, he's the biggest reason that defense is a top 5 defense. So for me, it's Chris Jones.
It's funny. I have him as that too. I think he's actually the MVP of the Chiefs.
Wow. I can see that.
This season in terms of play, like I think he's actually did, because I think to your point earlier, I think the Chiefs is probably the best attribute right now. I mean, you want to talk about the whole team, but right now their strongest attribute is probably their defense, and I think he's the best player on that side of the field, right?
Yeah, I can't argue with that at all.
What about you, Roger? Who's yours?
I like TJ Watt. I like TJ Watt, man. I love TJ Watt. If he's anything, he's consistent.
Yeah,
he's got 6.5 sacks this year. So far this year. He's 4 forced fumbles, and 10 or more tackles per game. Like he's a beast.
No, he's
one of the reasons. He's one of the reasons why Pittsburgh's defense is always so first every single year. So
you have to count. You have to account for him every play.
You really do. It'll be interesting to see how Pittsburgh finishes the season. But for me, definitely top 2, top 3, 100%.
It's wild to me how crazy that family is, man. Like,
because that's insane. Yeah,
because JJ, how much defensive player of the year did JJ wins? Like 3 or 4?
3, I think. Yeah,
at least 3.
Back to back 2, I think. Yeah. I remember he had a back to back, but he had at least 3 or maybe even 4. I think.
Yeah, he has at least 3.
Like he was. Yeah, he was crazy.
Surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, like, fit him for the yellow jacket right now, but like. On top of everything else, man, like that guy, I mean, there was a point in the season where he was picking off passes, running for TDs. Remember, there was one year during one of his defensive player of the year campaigns where he had about 4 or 5 touchdowns on top of that. Whether it was forced fumbles, interceptions, they're even throwing.
Oh, he was catching passes. He was catching touchdowns at one point too. They had him in as a tight end.
Yeah,
he did everything. Yeah,
I remember. Like, the guy was just a monster. So you're like, man, like, I see his younger brothers coming up the pipeline, but I mean, come on, like, who's gonna have a better career than JJ Watt? And now you're looking at TJ, you're like, okay, not his brother, but damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and he's already got one already, right? He's already got one. Like, he might get another one before his career is over.
Listen, I'm convinced his parents were feeding them steroids for breakfast. What do you mean? This can't be an anomaly. Like I don't know what kind of gene mutilation, gene therapy they were giving these kids when they were babies. But honestly, man, both of them are like what 6'3", 6'4", like solid 200,
like
60, just 70 pounds, I think.
Why the older brother's bigger, man?
Yeah, JJ's like, huge.
Yeah, JJ's like 6'6", 6'5", 280. 285. TJ Watt is like, he might be 6'5". You're right though. He might be 6'5".
Damn.
But he's more like a 240, 250 outside linebacker or pass rush. But he just plays with crazy leverage and motor.
And then the other brother was a fullback too, right? The other brother
fullback, yeah. Is he played for Pittsburgh for a little bit there.
Is he still in the league?
I'm not sure.
Either way,
I know he played for Pittsburgh his last stint.
Either way, that's not a house you want to break into.
Nah.
Especially around
they got money, but
Can you imagine breaking into the house and the 3 of them are sitting there watching TV and they turn around looking at you? They wouldn't even be scared. They would just be like, lock the door. Don't call the cops.
All they had to do was
don't call the cops yet.
All they had to do was stand up, Calvin. And I'd be like, yo, okay, gotta go. Gotta go. You guys have a good night. Can I get you a coffee?
a quick pirouette and back from when you came.
Exactly. Sorry, wrong house. My bad.
Who's your offensive player of the year? Who do you got, Raj?
How can you choose anybody but Derrick Henry?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry.
I think
like he's balling. He's balling. He's putting up like Adrian Peterson numbers when Adrian Peterson was like an MVP.
Yeah.
Like he's got I think 11 touchdowns already.
Yeah.
11 touchdowns.
Yeah, and over 1,000 yards.
Over 1,000 yards, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down any bit, man. Like it's crazy. I mean, I knew he was going to be good. I just didn't know he was going to be this good.
Sorry, Roger.
Cowboys must be.
Correction, Roger. He's got 12 TDs.
He got 12? Okay.
12.
Well,
and over 1,100 yards already.
In nine games. Like, how insane is that? How insane. Nobody's going to even come close to him by the end of the season. Barring any sort of injury.
Slow down. Saquon Barkley.
There we go. Okay. I knew I had a feeling you were going to bring Saquon into this. But yes, Saquon's a baller too. Yes.
The Ravens have a propensity to not give their best players the ball. There could be a couple games here where he gets 6-10 carries, do nothing. Saquon could creep up.
I think that only happens in the playoffs, Kerry. I don't know if that happens in the regular season game.
They've done it a couple times this year. They've done it. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
You know what's a shame, though, is I wish that he would be considered for MVP instead of this award.
Yes.
Because I think he is just as valuable as Lamar. I'm sorry. And Lamar's been playing amazing. Like, he's been playing amazing. But I'm kind of like...
You know what? They should just change the awards and give the best of the position.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
There should be the best O lineman, the best D lineman, the best linebacker, the best running back, the best quarterback.
Yeah, no, and the reason and the reason why too is because when you see the list of MVP candidates this year, you're kind of like, where's Henry? I'm seeing
quarterbacks.
I'm seeing quarterbacks. I'm seeing Lamar. I'm seeing Allen. I forgot there was another quarterback that I'm missing. I don't know if it's Hurts or I'm forgetting the name.
No, it's probably what's his name? Detroit Lions Goff.
Goff.
Before he threw the 5 picks there.
You're seeing Goff. Well, I mean, he's not getting that now after he threw 5 picks. But
that was so horrible.
Yeah, I mean, they still pulled it off. So whatever. But like, yeah, he's probably off that list now. But the point I'm saying though is, you didn't see Henry on that list, and I'm like, that to me is insane. Because to me, at worst, he's probably the second best player. Yeah, he should be second on that list.
But the problem is the MVP award has become a quarterback award.
Yeah,
it's not. It's no longer like he will get the Offensive Player of the Year award if anything, but the MVP award is a quarterback award.
Only thing I would say, who might. I think there might be a competition for Offensive Player of the Year is Jamar Chase, man, because
he's
this guy has already like 66 catches.
Yeah, he's playing really well.
He's almost
how many touchdowns? Already. Like I'm just saying, like him and Burrow, because they're in like they have to go for it every game, right? They can't lose anymore. They might be able to lose 1 or 2 here and there, but they have to start winning. They need to go on a stretch.
The margin for error is razor thin right now.
Burrow's playing great. Like he threw for over 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. He lost the game.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like they are the best losing team out there. The best losing team out there. I do not know how they keep losing all these games. Like, how do you have a wide receiver that goes for, 240 yards and I think 3 touchdowns and you lose? And your quarterback goes for 400 yards and you lose? Come on, man. It just doesn't make any sense, guys.
But, Roger, my question again is, why do they always start off so bad? Every season they always start off slow. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man.
I don't get it.
It's consistent. It's literally consistent. It's like clockwork every single year at this point. The first 3 games, they generally suck. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, sometimes it's due to injury. Joe Burrow, he's past couple times he's been injured, so he had to rehab during the season, and I guess it took him a little time to get back into it. But I mean, I don't know. They need to break this because they're way too good of a team to be have a losing record, man. It's insane.
Yeah,
Like
I'm gonna put that on the coaches, man.
Yeah. Like, I mean, what they did to Baltimore's secondary should be illegal.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase should be put in jail because it was embarrassing. I'm like watching that game. I was just like, "What the hell's going on, man?"
But
put 3 guys on this guy. I don't care.
Man.
But look at the stats in 2 games versus Baltimore. The first game, 10 catches, 193, 2 TDs. The last game, 11 catches, 264, and 3 TDs.
Yeah, how do you not double this guy? Like, just double him, man.
Just
let someone else beat you.
Yeah, double.
That's
just triple him.
Triple him. Do whatever. You got to put the whole secondary on him. I don't give a shit. Have anybody else beat you except for this guy. And T. Higgins wasn't even in the game.
No, it's crazy.
He wasn't even playing. That's the crazy part. Like, come on, man. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
It is crazy. The stubbornness of some coaches be like, no, it's gonna play my system. We're gonna be all right.
I'm good. Exactly. We can stop him. We can stop him. Don't worry. By halftime, he had like 150 yards. Don't worry. We're good. No adjustments needed.
We got this. We got this.
We got it right where we want it, boys.
Exactly. We got it right where we got it. I feel it. He's on the ropes. I feel he's slowing down. Don't worry. He's getting tired. I think we're good. Fucking believable, man.
Just in those 2 games alone, he basically has half his touchdown total in those 2 games. 10 TDs on the year, 5 of them was against the Ravens.
And Baltimore's known for their defense. That's why I don't get it, man.
No, but they made an adjustment, man. They lost their DC, man. He's gone, and they got somebody else, and he's trying to do his thing, and they're just trying to figure it out right now. Trying to figure it out. Yeah. It's tough. Changing systems and going away from and they lost some players too. Like, let's keep it real, right? Like, they lost some guys. So the new DC, I know he's been with the organization for a while, but this is his first time calling games. It's an adjustment, man, and he's gonna make mistakes. Like, that's the reality of doing it for the first time. I've been there, done it. You know, you look back and you're like, man, I sucked. You know what I mean? But the good coaches put in the work and they get better. Like, I think they'll get better, but it's a change. Like, the scheme is different. It's different. So,
well, I just hope they put it together for the playoffs, because I do not want to see Lamar lose this year because of the defense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't want to see that happening. Their offense is buzzing, but that defense, man, that pass defense,
it's not good. It's crazy.
It's not good, man.
But they have the talent. Chiefs, they have the talent. I think they'll figure it out. I really do. I'm hoping anyway.
With that said, though, I guess is it unanimous that we have Henry for?
Yeah, Henry, man. Okay. King Henry.
I'll be Henry. I think he's gonna break some records this year, man. I think he's gonna break some records.
I hope so.
I think it'll be crazy if he gets another 2,000 yards this season. Like, if that happens, I mean, my God, that's never happened before. Like, for somebody to get 2 in their career.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's never. Nobody's ever done it twice. And the funny thing is, when guys usually run for 2,000 yards, I remember doing the research on this. Their careers aren't usually the same after. You know what I mean? Once you get to 2,000 yards, it's like it's almost like it takes a part of you away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man. That's crazy.
Not to say they're not still great, but they do slow down somewhat after that. So the thing that he might do,
they have to, in order to reach 2,000 yards, they have to get a certain amount of touches too, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, that takes it out of you. Like, I mean, 100%.
1,000%. The only one that was still putting up crazy numbers, but then he retired early, was Barry Sanders. That was the only one. Yeah. But everybody else was never quite the same after that, right? But like I said, but there's a possibility that he's already at 1,120 yards. He's got 7 games to go, 8 games actually, because they play 18 games now, right? So there's a possibility he could do this.
No, there is a definite possibility.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. That to me, I mean, it's almost like cheating because you're getting an extra game or 2 games at this point. You know what I mean? So it's almost like cheating. But I mean, whatever, man. Like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Coach of the year, who do you guys have? To start with you, Carrie. Who do you got for Coach of the year?
It's Andy Reid. Andy Reid, the best coach on the best team.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, man. Finding ways to win. Him and Mahomes have like a cohesion, understanding.
Oh, they're on ESP.
Like
they're on that ESP, man. They're on that ESP.
And I know I was watching. They were showing highlight, like Mahomes was mic'd up, and they were showing the last drive in overtime, and they had gotten down into the 5-yard line or the 6, 7 or somewhere in there, inside the 10. And Mahomes right away, as soon as they got down there, he turned and he's like, "Let's run it." Like there's no selfishness, no, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're running the football. We're gonna just score, and this game is over. Like to me, that was like the epitome of what they are. Like there's no egos, a collective group of men working to a single goal. Like that's what you want out of your team. That's what they are right now, and Andy Reid's the head of that. So you got to give him his props. To me, he's the coach of the year right now.
They're 9-0. How can you not give it to them?
I know.
How can you not?
It's hard to argue with it. But go on, sorry, Raj. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I had Andy Reid number 1 for sure, but then number 2, I would put Mike Tomlin on top of there too.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, consistency. You could say a lot about the Steelers, but every single time that they play, every game that they play, Coach Tomlin has them ready. He has them ready, whether it's the defense or the offense. They're just very well coached. They're a very well coached team, even on down years. Like what? He's never had a losing record.
No, man. How's this guy been like? They believe in him for sure.
100%. How the hell has this guy been in the league for? How long has he been the coach for Steelers? At least 20 years now.
It's close to 20 years, I think. Now it's close to it.
20 years, and he's not had one losing season. Like that's insane. That's crazy. Yeah. That's absolutely crazy. And this year, I honestly think that they're going to make a push into the playoffs, deep in the playoffs. And he has them playing well. I mean, he's the one. Even when Justin Fields was winning games, he's the one who pulled the trigger and put in Russell Wilson. And
it was the right call.
If anything, they've gone better. They got better.
It was the right call, man. It was. The man has the pulse. He has his finger on the pulse of his team, man. That's what good coaches do.
100%.
They know what their team needs, and the Pittsburgh's going to be tough, man.
Yeah,
they're going to be tough.
Yeah, and I mean, going into the season though, too, like you were unsure how it was going to work out because they basically had 2 QBs, and they always say when you have 2 QBs, you don't have any, right? Normally,
yeah.
But then Russ goes down. We all thought Fields was going to handle it, and to his credit, he did hold the fort down. But Russell, as you mentioned before, like he's elevated that offense. I would say he's Tomlin is probably like a 1B to Reid's 1A right now, and that's saying a lot because you got to give shout outs to Man Campbell over in Detroit, not Dan, but Man Campbell over at Detroit.
Man Campbell.
Man Campbell.
Yeah, he's been doing he's been doing a great job.
You know what I love? Did you watch the game?
Which one?
Did you see the crowd? The Detroit game.
Oh yeah.
The crowd had they're dressed like a can of soup, and it's Dan Campbell's kneecap soup.
That's great. Great.
Kneecap soup. Oh,
that was one of the most insane press conferences ever. Introductory press conferences. You're like, my God.
Dan Campbell.
You're like Detroit's just gonna be shit alone just off that press conference. You're like, I've seen enough. And man, he's done a great job, man. Like the last 2.5 years, it's a courtesy to his work, man. It hasn't been a fluke. I mean, wasn't his first season like 0-16 or like didn't they?
No, it was bad. It was pretty bad. They were bad.
It was bad.
It was 0-16, I believe, right? They didn't win a game, right? His first season, I think.
No. They won a couple games, but they lost a bunch. It was bad.
Yeah, so to come from that to where they are now, where they've only lost 1 game or 2 games at most.
Hey, but they just give me hope because it's old school football will always work, man.
Yeah.
Run the ball.
They built that team through the trenches,
offensive line. build your defensive line. Like, that will always work in football. You won't be a shitty team if you do that. You might not win a championship, but you'll always be good.
I actually wish some NBA teams would adopt that model in terms of going back to being a little more old school instead of shooting all these threes, because I'm a basketball guy, but like I kind of wish they would go back to that.
It's painful to see a man drive the lane,
wide open for a dunk,
can go for a layup or a dunk, but I'm gonna kick it out. It just irritates me so much.
Because the analytics say, and you just feel like every time you say that, you're just pushing your glasses further to your face. I'm telling you, man.
Analytics, man. Analytics are good, but
100%.
Not using analytics within context of a game or a situation is crazy.
I know,
and it's like
it's affecting all sports. Like it's here, but it's affecting all sports, and it's not in a great way.
I'm gonna go on an old man rant here for a second here.
No, go off.
Analytics is given people who have never played a sport the ability to critique the sport. You know what I mean? Because before, you're having a conversation with somebody about sports, but if they never played the sport, you kind of dismiss them. But now, because you have stats to back you up, you can have this conversation. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's gone too far to the extreme where, like, a guy like Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, he's leaning so hard into the analytics that he's not taking into consideration what's happening in the game. Like, he was going for two.
Terry, nothing.
He was going for
nothing
two for no reason. Like
Terry,
being up 50-0 instead of 14-0. Like, what's the problem?
Terry, I'm sorry to disrupt you there. Nothing. I was puzzled. They were up 21-3, and this guy was going for two. And I was like, I couldn't, my mind couldn't even fathom it. I remember looking at it and I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. I don't understand. 20-3.
Oh, wait.
And they're going for two.
Then, Raj, I'm going to bypass a 40-yard field goal, go for it, not get it. Bypass another 40-yard field goal.
Times, guys.
Then, with less than 3 minutes left, we're going to kick a 57-yard field goal. We're going to attempt a 57-yard field goal with less than 3 minutes left, a 4th and 3. When you've been going for it all day. Like, make it make sense. The math is not mathing, man.
Makes zero sense, dude. Like, if Philly loses, they're going to be losing because of that.
That game should have been like a beatdown. Not even close, but because of the decisions and the analytics of this guy, and now because you go for it and he didn't get it, so now you're chasing points.
Yeah,
they should have. And Nakobe Dean made a ridiculous play, but the players are bailing this guy out from making bad decisions. You were in complete control of this game, and because of your decisions of trusting the analytics and going for it, you gave this team a chance to beat you in the end.
Yeah. At what point does common sense actually win out?
Oh, man. Seriously. Like,
come on, man.
It's really frustrating. I understand the aggressive nature, and like as a athlete, you like your coach to be like, "Oh, it's 4th and 3. Let's go for it, boys." Like, there's nothing better than that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're a competitor. We're gonna go freaking get this. You don't want to come off the field. You have a coach that believes in you, wants you to go for cool. Like, the players are gonna love him because he's aggressive. But man, like, you still got to be the adult in the room. And you're gonna be like, "Okay, boys, we're gonna kick the field goal."
And Carrie, you're talking about the Eagles. We don't even have to talk about the Eagles. Let's talk about the ending of that Cincy and the Ravens game. It's 35-34. Why are you going for two? You just scored a touchdown.
I would go for two. I would go for two.
Man,
there.
I
would go for two there. To me, that's different because that is an opportunity to win the game. And if you tell any football player, you're getting the ball on the 2-yard line and we score, we win.
I hear you.
Every football player in that moment is going to be like, let's go. Like, and do you want to give Lamar the ball back?
Yeah.
You go to overtime, you win the coin toss and you give him the ball. Like, we can win it right here. Like, to me, that was okay. I'm okay with that.
But considering how they've been struggling to start the season, I'm like, I would live for overtime, and just because I'm like, the same point you're making about Lamar, you can say the same thing for Burrow. What if we get the coin toss? We're winning this game too. They can't stop us. They can't stop Chase.
So it's a 50. So it's a 50. So why prolong it? Like, just we can end it right now. We make a play, we win. You make a play, you win. Jam done. It's over. Why leave it to chance and all kinds of stuff? Let's win the game right now. Let's win it. It's here for us. We fought back. Like, do you want to? To me, there's too many other things can happen that is not in your favor. Right now, we are in control. We just drove down and scored. We can go for 2 and win the game.
Yeah. I actually agree with that, man.
Like Denver, not Denver. Who played Tampa Bay playing Kansas City?
Right.
Is it Kansas City?
Yeah.
Man, go for 2, win the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, what was wilder is that it was raining, bad conditions, and like an extra point is like a 35-yard kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
you're basically leaving it to luck at that point.
You could miss the kick. Even like that kick is not a guarantee in those conditions. I thought for sure they were going to go for 2. I was just about to say, why even give Mahomes there's still a chance. Like, right now we can end it. He ain't coming on the field. We decide. He's not going to decide. We decide. We make this play, we win. I don't know. Those situations I'm okay with. You're trying to win the game. One play to win the game. I'm cool with that. But
I actually wish the Patriots would have done that against the Titans.
Different.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah. I was going to say, no, it brings me back to 2 weeks ago when the Patriots played the Titans. And like within 3 seconds, Drake May threw this amazing touchdown. He was scrambling through this.
He was running around. I watched that live time. It was great.
Yeah, it was sick, right? And instead of going for 2, they kicked and they lost, right? But I was like, I wanted them to go for 2 so badly. I was like, the defense is gassed. They've been running around all game. They're exhausted. I was like, just fucking go for 2, man. If you guys get it, you're fucking studs. If you don't, well, you weren't even supposed to win that game anyways.
Anyway, so I don't know. I agree, man. In those situations, to win the game, I'm all in. Go.
How many times have good teams lost on a coin toss?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It happens
true
all the time.
But now, since he's 4-6 with little room for error, you know what I mean? Like, and again, I'm not dismissing what you guys are saying. I'm just saying, in Cincinnati's case, being the record where the record is, and they're trying to get back in, I'm like, man, just live to see OT.
But that's why they did it, though, Cal. They're in desperation, have to win mode. That's why they went for 2. They're not playing it. They can't play soft. They have to go all in. They're all in. That was an all-in move. We're trying to win right now, quick, fast.
Yeah,
like that's to me. That's why they did it. I think if their record was different and it wasn't such a desperation game, I think they go to overtime.
Yeah,
I think because of the desperation, they went for it on 2. We need to win this game. We can win it right now, boys. Let's go.
I know we sound like some old assholes basically talking about analytics the way we are.
Listen, analytics are great, but man,
I know it's got to be a balance. It has to be a better balance.
Oh man, and just listening to some of these guys on in the media and ESPN, these guys who have never touched a field or freaking played basketball, and they're saying who's good and who's not. It frustrates me, man.
Yeah.
And
they're looking down at
former
players for having
give me a break, man. These guys are in the NBA. These guys are in the NFL. They might not be good NFL players, but they are still the 1%.
That's it.
They would whoop anybody's ass. Any regular person off the street would have no chance against them.
Yep.
Like, just have a little bit more respect for these guys. They're still in the league. That still means something.
But there has to be a better balance, 100%, because it's just like, and again, I'm saying this for all sports. There's got to be a better balance. It has to be. But to wrap up, though, man, I mean, I'm about a week late into it. Like, like I started off the show saying I was sick because I really wanted to talk about Saquon Barkley doing that fucking backwards hurdle over that guy last week. I really wanted to talk about that last week, but I don't care because that's probably the play of like the decade right now. With that said, though, where does Saquon's leap land amongst like the greatest athletic feats that you've ever seen in football or otherwise? Because to me, it's. I know there's so much ones you could say, but my God, that's high.
It's up there, man. I mean, wow, like that was. I watched it live too.
Me too.
It was like your brain is like, what did he just do? How did he just do that? Like, and it's not something that was just pure reaction.
It was pure instinct.
Yeah.
I think that's for me, that puts it on top of, like, for instance, Odell Beckham, the world famous catch he had with one hand where he was like literally leaning backwards, grabbing it and pulling in. That Saquon Barkley move was right there is like top of the top. Like I can't remember. Did he straight arm? He either straight armed and then spun, or he spun off somebody.
It wasn't even a regular spin because he was gonna juke the guy.
Yeah, the spin was
and he
crazy.
spun him. Yeah, and he spun.
Then so it was all like, I'm gonna juke. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna spin, and then out of the spin,
he just literally jumped up like he did this, like a Van Damme almost type of splits. like he had eyes in the back of his head. He just knew this guy was diving towards him. Like, it was.
He took a shot.
Insane. He took a shot, but listen, that shit was worth it, man.
Listen,
oh my God, that shit was worth it.
The Beckham catch.
That shot was worth it.
That Beckham catch is crazy too, though, man.
I know it's crazy, but I don't know, man. Seeing that move in real time, just like it was like back to back. The spin was phenomenal, and then
there was a move even before.
It was just an instinct.
There was a move even before the spin too. I forgot what he did before that, but when he caught the ball, he did a juke before that, and then hit the other guy with the spin, and then did that. Like, that whole sequence was stupid.
If he had done it, if the guy was facing him and he would have done it, that would have been spectacular enough. But what kills me is it's almost like he felt the guy coming. He felt the guy diving for him, and he just instinctively just jumped up. That for me put it like right there. Like, I mean,
to even think that you can do that, like, it was not like he ran into a hurdle or ran into a jump. Like yeah, man. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I think my favorite thing of my favorite moment of that is because I watched it live too. I was trying to help my son do homework, and we both saw that. We both went, ah! Like, and my son don't even watch football like that. Even he was like, "Oh my, what the hell was that?" I'm like, I have no idea. I can't explain that one too. That was dumb. But also, what I love the best is when you saw the reaction of his teammates on the sideline. I don't know if you've seen that clip.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing because everybody just turned into a kid. Like, what the hell did I just watch?
No, and I think that's what might actually put it over the top is the fact that it's like the first time you watch it, the first thing you tell yourself is, "What did I just?" Like, it's a question. You didn't even enjoy it as much because you're trying to figure out, your brain's trying to figure out what happened.
And then you watch the sequence of events again, and you're like, that was insane.
I think, honestly. I think for me, that goes right up there with Bo Jackson catching that fly ball and running along the wall. That goes right up there with Bo Jackson friggin' running that famous clip where he outruns like the whole team and the whole and it basically runs into the tunnel. That's up there with Vince Carter hurdling the 7-2 guy, clearing him
No,
without touching him.
that's up there for sure. Yeah, man, that's one of the craziest thing ever done.
Yeah.
It was insane. Absolutely.
I would probably have up there. I don't know. Those are pretty good ones. I was gonna say Vince Carter. Yeah, Vince Carter.
Yeah,
you have to put him up there.
Barry Sanders had some nice runs too, man.
Barry Sanders.
He had some crazy runs where he's literally just jerking people out, linebackers out of their shoes. But I mean, that move right there, that's got to be the move of the year right there.
Yeah.
Saquon definitely has, like, my God, they're gonna be showing those highlights for the next 10 years, honestly.
Yeah,
like, is there anybody in the league that could possibly do that?
People are gonna try to start do it now.
I was gonna say that's not even safe to. That's not even safe to do.
You can't even do that. That's the NFL, man. If you do that, if you mistime that, you are getting your clock wrong.
Oh my
God! Like you're getting put out to pasture, guy.
Yeah, like that. Like even he said he doesn't. He doubts he'll ever try that again. Like that was pure instinct to your point.
The vert on that guy, man. That is.
I know. Because he cleared that guy.
Like that.
That's crazy.
It wasn't he wasn't running into it, man. Like he just spun a dude, man. Like what?
Yeah, it was all instincts.
Imagine his box jumps. What he's doing in the off season.
I know.
Yeah, the Giants getting rid of this guy is like the most boneheaded move of the century.
Wild. And so you're gonna pay Daniel Jones $40 million. No. You don't want to pay Saquon Barkley 10 or 12.
I think they paid him. Or was it 8? I think it was 8. Like, what is he getting? No, sorry. He is getting $12 million. That's right. It was Derrick Henry that's getting $8 million.
Yeah, and the video of this GM being like, shop yourself around, see where you're at, and then come back and let us, do a final offer. Saquon's like, yeah, okay. All right. You knew it right there and there.
He's gone.
And he went to a team with the best O-line in the NFL.
And look what he's doing.
Yeah, and then the best kid is when the GM's like, you know what? I'm probably gonna lose sleep if he goes to Philadelphia.
No, that was the owner.
Was that the owner? It was the owner.
The owner's like, we really can't let this guy walk. If he goes to Philadelphia or somebody in our division, I'm going to be really upset. I'm going to be losing sleep.
Good job, guys. Good job.
And Daniel Jones is I don't like to call NFL players garbage, but he's not very good.
He's not very good, especially right now. He had one really good season where they made a run into the playoffs, and because of that, they decided, you know what? We're going to pay this guy $40 million a year.
No, man, that's
so
have to be careful.
That GM is so fired. Wild. He is so fired.
As he should be, man.
So fired for that.
Wasn't Daniel Jones the guy who went, didn't he go 4th or 5th in that draft that year? I think it was back in 2019, and everybody was like, who the hell is Daniel Jones?
Yeah, it was a little high. He has tools, man, but he's a turnover machine, and
he's not fumbling, he's throwing picks.
And the fact that they could have let him walk, and they had a high draft pick this year. They could have drafted a quarterback.
Yeah, going back to Barry Sanders, because Roger, you're saying all the incredible runs. The two that rings in my head is, there was so many, but the two that rings in my head is the guy that he may do like a 360.
Yes, that would be the one. That would be the one.
That's the one. I'm like, you're doing that against grown men. You're actually doing that against a grown man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's some Pee Wee football shit. That's Pop Warner shit you're doing to that guy. Like, that guy didn't know whether he was coming or going. Like that.
Listen, you gotta remember that. You gotta remember the time too, man. That's when guys actually fucking hit people.
Right.
They really hit people. It's not like now where it's if you touch some guy in the head and shit like that, all of a sudden you're thrown out of the game, or it's some sort of penalty. Back then they used to clean your clock, and he was doing that against grown ass men.
And I always say what Barry is. Barry never. Did you ever? Have you guys ever seen Barry get his clock clean? I never saw that.
No.
Nobody ever got a clean hard hit on Barry. It was almost impossible. It never happened.
You had to corral him with a bunch of other dudes.
bunch of guys.
Yeah,
with a bunch of guys, and then my favorite one, which is like the underrated one, is when he shook Rod Woodson so bad he blew his ACL. That's probably like one of my most underrated ones. Like he was going up the sideline, and Woodson was meeting him at the angle. He gave him like a stutter step. Rod Woodson went with him. He gave him the juke and went left, and when he tried to follow him, he blew his knee out. I'm like, that has to be one of the most
I remember
underrated.
that.
That has to be one of the most underrated. Like, dirty. You blew the man's knee out.
Yeah.
Like,
and I love me some Rod Woodson
one of my favorite DBs of all time.
Yeah.
All time.
Heavy hitter. Yeah. But Barry was before his time, man. He was way before his time.
Man, Detroit robbed us. They just forced this guy to retire, man.
Yep.
Him and Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, man. Detroit did their starts dirty, man. They did their starts dirty.
They fucked them all over good. 100%. Calvin Johnson. He's another one, man.
Yeah. Him and Calvin Johnson. It's like, how is that possible? How do you do that twice to like a generational athlete? Like twice? They retire early? How's that like? Yeah, that's not a good reflection on you, man. Twice?
They would rather retire than play for your team, guy. How bad is that?
Yeah, man. How bad is that?
Like, seriously. These guys, you have to literally pry them away from the game. I was
okay with Detroit sucking for a long time. Like, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get, man.
For that to happen once is really bad. Twice? Like,
and twice? To the most soft-spoken, nice people, like
these guys, yeah.
The way they come across, never no problems, no beef, no talking shit, just come out and work hard and love the game. Like, that's who you screw over?
Yeah. They're lunch pail type guys, man. They come, they do their job, and they go home.
Nothing. Barry didn't say a word, man.
Flip the ball to the ref. He never celebrated.
Never celebrate. Act like you've been there before, and they're screwing over Barry Sanders, man. Like, Barry Sanders should have broke the Emmett's record. He should have the most yards ever.
He should have 20,000
bro, when I say
yards.
I was vexed, I was vexed, when he retired.
Carrie, it took me about 2 years to, like, not have the reaction. Because remember, there was a period where anytime you saw, Detroit's playing? Okay. I'm here for the next 3 hours. It took me about a year or two to shake out of that. Every time I saw Detroit, I'm like, okay. I'm like, fuck, he's retired.
No, he's gone. He's gone. It's not the same. The same.
It took, and then with Calvin Johnson, what I thought was crazy because I think the big menacing wide receiver in the game right now is DK Metcalf. And I think they played the Lions earlier this year. I don't know if you saw that where Calvin Johnson, I guess he came to watch the game. Why did Calvin Johnson without pads look bigger than DK Metcalf?
He's bigger, man, because he is bigger. He's bigger.
Huge. He's like 6'6", man. Calvin Johnson was a mountain,
man. 240. He's something else, man.
But he looked bigger than DK Metcalf without pads on. Like, that to me was crazy. I'm like, I knew why they call him Megatron, but seeing that picture, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, I get it now. I really truly get it now because Metcalf is a big boy.
No, he's not little. And
Metcalf is he's a big dude, man. He's 6'4" himself.
Yeah, he's
bigger. He's bigger. He's probably 6'5", 6'6", like you said, Raj. Right. No, you said DK.
Yeah,
DK's probably 6'4". Yeah,
I think DK's 6'4". Yeah.
But he looks smaller in pads compared to Megatron. Yeah. I'm like, my God, man. My God.
No, Megatron is the dude you make in a lab.
100%. And he's a 4'4" guy too, man.
No,
like he had everything.
He's a 4'3" guy, and he ran his 40 in somebody else's cleats. Because at the combine, his agent told him not to run, and he got so competitive. He's like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna." Borrowed somebody else's shoes and ran a 4.3 something, 4.38 or something crazy.
That's insane.
Yep. And Detroit let him walk. Detroit let him retire early. So
we could have just traded him, but nope.
Nope.
And that's always a sign of a bad team. Like you could have potentially still got some sort of value from him. Like he was still playing pretty solid.
Right.
He had a few injuries here and there, but I mean, they could have traded him at least got the first or something.
Even Barry, when Barry went to them and said, "Hey, I put in my time, just let me go." You know what kind of haul they would have got for Barry Sanders? They could have started their rebuild. They just hating on him, brother.
Multiple first.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you ain't playing for me, you ain't playing, period.
Exactly, for nobody. That kind of stuff.
Exactly. Oh, then that's why they don't have a fucking Super Bowl yet, man.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they might be reversing karma right now. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, they're balling right now.
They're balling
right now.
We'll
Kneecap soup.
Well, on that note, fellas, thank you for hopping on this NFL check-in, man. This the Ave Podcast. So, I know I try to do this every quarter, but because I had to miss the last week, I want to see if we can come back in about 3 weeks, if that's all right with y'all.
Yeah, let's get it, man.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Saquon, man. Like I said, I don't think I'm ever seeing anything like that. I shouldn't say that because
we know
something else is coming.
Anything like that.
Something else is coming. So let me not say we'll never see anything like that again. But my God, that was dumb. I still can't get over that.
Yeah,
that was dumb. Thank you for checking out the latest edition of the Ave Podcast. Special shout out goes out to Roger Calendar and Carrie Joseph for hopping on the check-in, the NFL check-in, the second quarter of the check-in. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, as always, and we'll be back with a new episode next week. We're also going to be dropping the aforementioned couple of episodes, a couple of reviews, which includes a 25th anniversary of the Best Man, the evolution of the black quarterback. We got some ones coming down the line, man, and we still got to do a check-in on the NBA season. So stay tuned for all of it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons wherever you listen to podcasts. I appreciate you guys for all the support. And make sure you check out the Ave Podcast as well as my entire catalog over at SouthShoreAve.com. Once again, that is SouthShoreAve.com. For Roger Calendar and Carrie Joseph, this is Cal C. And you just tuned into the latest episode of the Ave Podcast right here on South Shore Ave Radio. Until next week, we out. Peace. Enjoy your weekend.